Hey, my invisible learner! Today we are going to cover up one of the most famous market structure, that is monopolistic competition, that introduced by the famous American economist Edward Chamberlain in 1933 in his theory of monopolistic competition, and by the British economist John Robinson in also 1933. In a simple words, Sir Edward Hastings Chamberlain said that monopolistic competition refers to a market situation where there are many sellers of a commodity, but the product of each seller differs from each other. But why it's called monopolistic competition? It because while firms are competing with one another for the same group of customers to same degree, each firm's product is a little bit different from that of all the other firms, and therefore each firm has something to mini monopoly in the market for its output. Therefore, according to Leftwich, monopolistic competition is a market situation in which there are many sellers of a particular product, but the product of each seller is in some way differentiated in the minds of consumers from the product of every other sellers. And similarly, according to Lee Chong-yeol, monopolistic competition is a market situation where there are many producers, but each offers a slightly differentiated product. Now, let's check some important features of monopolistically competitive markets. These are the first feature: large number of buyers and sellers. There are the large number of buyers and sellers, but not as large as a perfect competitive market. And the second, free entry and exit. Like a perfectly competitive market, firms can enter and exit freely. And third, in monopolistically competitive market, all brands try to create product differentiation to add an element of monopoly over the competing products. Fourth is selling cost. The monopolistic competition is that every firm tries to promote its product by different types of expenditure. Advertisement is the most important constitution of this selling cost, which affects the demand as well as the cost of the product. And the fifth is lack of perfect knowledge. Of course, the buyers and sellers do not have perfect knowledge of the market. There are innumerable products, each being a close substitute of the other. The buyers do not know about this. And the sixth, under monopolistic competition, both the factors of the production as well as the goods and services are not perfectly mobile. That's a less mobility. And the last one is a more elastic demand. Under the monopolistic competition, demand curve is more elastic. In order to sell more, the firms must reduce its price. Let's check an example of a soap market. Just like as Lux focuses on making a beauty soaps, Synthol on a freshness, Patanjali on a antiseptic properties, as usually the Himalaya on a smooth skin, and Ayush on a Ayurvedic treatment. This allows each seller to attract buyers to itself based on some factor other than price. So, what is the equilibrium point? In a short run, according to Professor Chamberlain, the firm under the monopolistic competition has make a wider range of a decision under the perfect competition, and there are the three variables under the monopolistic competition: price, product, and selling outlay. It would be very difficult to discuss their effects simultaneously. Therefore, the equilibrium of individual firm is discussed here. For maximum profits, two conditions are satisfied under the monopoly and perfectly competitive market. That's MC equals to MR, and MC must cut the MR from below. This is similar as a monopolistic competition. The elasticity of demand curve under the monopolistic competition depends upon the attachment of the buyers. If a firm is an old one, it shall be selling its product for a long time, and consequently the buyers will have a less elastic or inelastic demand for its product. And similarly, in a case of the long period in which each firm can change its production capacity by changing the fixed as well as the variable factors. New firms can enter the industry and old firms can exit it. Basically, the firms in the long run will get a normal profits. That means an economic profit. If the existing firms are making a supernormal profits, and then it will attract some other new firms in the industry. The entry of a new firms will result into the overproduction, which will have a depressing the effect on the price, and therefore all the firms in the long run will get zero economic profit as like a perfectly competitive market. Therefore, the first thing come to our mind is monopolistic competition is efficient or inefficient? It's just like a marginally inefficient, not efficient, because the firm produces at an output where the average total cost is not a minimum. A monopolistically competitive market is a productively inefficient market structure because marginal cost or MC is a less than price in the long run. Therefore, let's check an overview of the monopolistic competition and its efficiency. The first thing, productivity efficiency, that's P equals to minimum ATC. Second, allocative efficiency, P equals to MC. Not productive or allocative efficiency, where the P greater than MC. This means that resources are under allocated, not allocatively efficient. The firms do not produce where the P equals to MC or the P equals to minimum average total cost. Therefore, the productively efficient, the marginal revenue curve will also coincides with a demand curve equals to average revenue curve equals to price. That's all for today about monopolistically competitive market. But finally, we will take a quick look at the difference between these all markets. So let's check the product market models difference between perfectly competitive market, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly and monopoly. The first is the number of the firms. In case of these four, pure competition is many, monopolistically competitive market is many, oligopoly is a few, and the monopoly is a one or unique. Type of product, standardized, homogeneous. In case of monopolistic competition, differentiated, oligopoly, standardized or differentiated, and monopoly is a unique, no close substitutes. Control over the price, pure competition is a price taker, monopoly is a price maker, but in case of oligopoly, in a lot of collusion, one is leader, one is follower, but in case of monopolistic competition, some depends on a product differentiation. Barriers to entry in the both firm are very easy and relatively easy, but oligopoly is a little bit difficult, but monopoly is blocked. Non-price competition, in case of the non-price competition, in a pure competition is none, monopolistic competition is a very much, oligopoly very much with a differentiated products, but in case of monopoly would expect none but some public relations advertising. Examples, agriculture, stock market in case of pure competition. Monopolistic competition is pubs, hotels, retail, trades, pharmacies, gas stations, grocery stores, etc. In case of oligopoly, automobiles, steels, farm elements, but in case of monopoly, the examples of the monopoly is Indian Railway or the local public utilities like electricity, natural gas, but a poor monopoly is a rare. So, we conclude here. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. And thank you very much and have a good day.